I want him found. Not tomorrow, not after breakfast, now.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, TGV. It's moi, Hugo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm splendid, thank you.
Where the hell are you?
I'm on a luxury cruise, darling.
I thought you were locked up.
Well, I was, but you know how much I adore the outdoors. Feeling the sun on my skin, chasing those lovely little goats. I simply had to get out.
Oh my god, you're not coming here, are you?
Oh, far too risky, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's a terrible shame. So where are you headed?
I'm lambing it. Friends of ours, you know the ones. They have a charming little villa over in Sicily, where I can reside till it all blows over.
Oh, that sounds rather pleasant. Where are you headed in this cruise?
Well, that's between me and the good captain. Anyway, mustache. They're serving champers on the Lido deck. Toodle pip.
Wait, hello? Hugo? Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Today, we return to an old subject. You could call it kind of Gentry Quarterly. It was inspired the first time we did this, which was months and months ago now. 10 things I can't live without. But today, I'm going to do 10 fashion things I can't live without. And I'm going to omit watches and signet rings because I included them in the last video. I think it's pretty obvious that I like watches, right? So I'm not going to include them. Today's wristwatch check is a tribute to Fortis because as we speak, there's a countdown. I think we're 11 days away. Well, it'll be different when you watch this, but they're about to launch an exciting new chronograph. There's a little sneak peek of it on their Instagram. Do check it out. I'm extremely excited. I actually got to see previews of the design back in Reno, if you remember. You saw the videos, you guys loved it, and I had a tremendous time, but I got to see it. And all I'm going to say, I'm not going to give too much away, literally a reinvention of the Flieger as we know it. It's extremely exciting. I cannot wait. Hopefully we will get the exclusive. So in ode to them, today my little 38mm official cosmonaut chronograph. There you go. Really cool piece indeed. Right, what else should I mention? Oh, by the way guys, do check out their YouTube. They have one of the most underrated YouTube channels when it comes to watches. Beautifully made videos. I'll leave a link to that as well, so do check that out. Anyway, let's get on with the list. Number 10, it's the Chukka boot. This is my go-to footwear. These are from Clarks, a famous British brand. And incidentally, they actually have a very key role in the history of this particular shoe. Now, you can get various other brands. I have Lokes, I have some, what is it, John Lobbs or not Churches? I'm pretty sure they're Lobbs. I can't even remember, but I have to say, I love the Clarks the most. I'm just being honest. There you go. So let's have a look at the history of the good old Chukka boot. The name Chukka originates from polo, where a chukka is a period of play. Originally, they were intended for sports, but a special version with a crepe rubber sole was adopted as desert boots and worn by British soldiers in the Western Desert Campaign of World War II. The Chukka boot then evolved into casual wear, popular in the 1940s through into the 1960s.
Clark's was the first original makers of the military desert boot version, but eventually they were also soon being manufactured by higher-end British shoemakers with the rise in popularity, especially after being worn by various members of the royal family. They are some of the most versatile boots you can possibly buy and can be worn with both suits and more casual wear like jeans.
Number 9, and I've got to state that this list is not in any order of importance, it's purely reference. You probably guessed it, it's the Lacoste shirt. I adore Lacoste. Holds a very, very special place in my heart because it instantly takes me back whenever I see the crocodile to childhood, to some of my first travels in Italy and, of course, France. The brand is inextricably linked because, well, let's check out why.
The polo shirt, or tennis shirt, and later golf shirt all have very similar origins and can be traced back to the early sportswear around the same period, all intended for these aforementioned sports at the end of the 19th century. During this time, outdoor activities became important for the British ruling class. René Lacoste, the French 7-time Grand Slam tennis champion, felt that the stiff tennis attire of the time was too cumbersome and uncomfortable, and so he designed a white, short-sleeved, loosely knit cotton 3-button shirt with an unstarched, flat, protruding collar and a shirt tail longer in the back than in the front, known today as the tennis tail. He first wore it during the 1926 US Open Championship. The charming crocodile brand logo soon followed, with René Lacoste placing a crocodile emblem on the left breast of his shirts, as the American press had begun to refer to him as the Crocodile, a nickname which he embraced. While Brooks Brothers were the first in creating the polo shirt, and Ralph Lauren during the 1970s becoming synonymous with that style, it was René Lacoste who innovated and set the most trends in creating this style of shirt that has become imitated and the norm, with so many brands and shirts inspired by this style since then.
Okay, number 8. And it doesn't look like the most appealing thing, but this is an adjustable parachute material belt. It made, well, actually, this is German. This is the Fallschirmjäger, which is a kind of elite German paratroopers. Now, this I got at an army surplus store. This is their modern, this is not the World War II, this is the modern parachutists, I should say. And I love it because it's instantly adjustable. I mean, anything intended for the German military is going to be pretty well made. It's not the most elegant of which. For more formal attire, I have suede belts, I have some luxury belts, that kind of thing. But for every day, this is fantastic because in hotter weather, you can have it a little bit looser when you've ate a giant meal. When you need to loosen it a bit, and it's just very functional. So I can't live without my Fallschirmjäger German army belt. There we go. Okay, number 7 is jackets or casual jackets. Now, I've done a video on my top 10 jackets, and I adore jackets. I love autumn and winter, especially because I get to wear them. And I included in that video my Stone Island. I adore Stone Island. Yes, I know it has a connotation with certain overly enthusiastic football fans, but I love them for their innovation. They are an industry leader when it comes to the use of materials and stuff like that. And I've got to say, I love my leather jackets too. You know, what else? There's the Harringtons, all the rest of it. But if I had to pick one, I'd go with Private White. It's a little bit smarter, but yet you can wear it for smart and casual.
As with the Chuck boot, Private White VC and their clothes are also a product of war. Similarly, like my own ancestor, Jack White was awarded a Victoria Cross, which is the highest and most prestigious award for gallantry in the face of the enemy that can be awarded to British and Commonwealth forces. Private Jack White's great-grandson now owns the brand, which is one of the few remaining UK garment manufacturers. Both my Mac and Harrington jackets are made from a special material known as Ventile, which is 100% waterproof. This extraordinary fabric was developed at the direct request of Sir Winston Churchill during World War II. It is a special, high-quality woven cotton first developed by scientists, originally created to overcome a shortage of flax used for fire hoses and water buckets. Its properties were also found to be ideal for pilots' immersion suits. Aesthetically, Private White takes a traditional, durable military styles and modernizes them into a highly functional, minimal and luxury quality clothing that will never go out of fashion, with it being always understated and very capable. To be honest, I'm surprised James Bond is not wearing this brand.
Okay, number 6 is what I call my Tony Soprano shirts. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, so it's not a particular style of shirt. It can be a linen shirt, it can be all kinds of styles. But what I mean by that is his particular style of patterns, of buttons. It can be a golf shirt. I have to say, and shout out to Tony Soprano Style, amazing Instagram. I've actually exchanged messages after including him in the Tony Soprano video, which you guys absolutely adored, and you know I'm loving rewatching that show. But I have to say that Tony has got a very particular style, which I really like, and I've taken it on a little bit, especially in the summer, the loose-fitting Hawaiian style, not too loud. Some of his choices are a little bit too brash for me. Most of the time you'll notice that they are more neutral colors, so they're very compatible with your other items, and you can kind of wear them, obviously not for formal occasions, but kind of smart casual. Would you say smart casual? Yeah, my wife agrees, so there you go. Right, at number 5, it's a bag, a men's bag. I love Carl Friedrich, you guys know it. I'm a collector of their bags now. I have one for literally every occasion. I have this is the weekend bag you would have seen me review. It's a little bit scuffed up, but that's because I really do use it. I've traveled a hell of a lot with this. For every day I have the briefcase. This I have not been using as much because obviously I've been working a lot at home. Beautiful cognac. Then we have the backpack, which is a little bit more casual. This is great for like day outs, this kind of stuff. I actually use it as a camera bag, and you would see me using this in tandem with the weekend bag. I'll take this on the plane and then I'll check that bag in.
Since the beginning of my channel, I have always been a fan and supporter of their brand and have collected most of their products, which range from wallets, tech cases, professional briefcases for work, weekend bags, more casual backpacks, and recently they have also expanded into luggage and home desk accessories. However, no matter the item, one thing is consistent across all their products. They are always classic and clean in design, that are functional and always extremely well made. The leather is the finest vegetable tanned vaqueta from Tuscany, Italy. The hardware is never anything other than the most dependable. Even the nylon they use is the highest of quality. The stitching and construction is second to none, and consistently with tasteful, elegant designs that will be long-lasting enough to pass down the generations. What attracted me to the brand, aside from their stylish and versatile look, was the timeless design. When it comes to such items as these, cheap bags are very much a false economy. Instead of rebuying something every few years, I wanted something of a luxury quality, but without the tacky branding or price markup. Something that would always look dapper, but be durable enough to last the decades. If there was one thing on this 10 list of items every gentleman should own without question, a good men's bag is definitely it.
Now, I was planning to do a lot of traveling this summer, and I'm sure a lot of you were thinking of doing the same thing. I had this trip to Japan to visit Seiko planned, and of course, things have changed, and now I'm working a lot more at home, so I don't use my bags as much, but I have found a new use for my weekend bag. And this comes about because there was a fire in a building very close to here. Well, it was a bit of a terrifying night, and we could smell the fumes, and we were frightened that, you know, our building was going to catch fire, and so ever since then we've had a to-go bag, or some people refer to it as a panic bag, and I might do a video on what I keep in my panic bag. If you guys are interested, do share down below. Yeah, it's a bit it's rather elegant, but it works because I want something that is strong, that is this size, that I know is going to last and not fail me. Okay, number 4, it's the tracksuit. This is something that has become also a little bit more prevalent with the recent kind of change in routine. I don't really go out as much. I'm at home working, and what is the most comfortable thing to do? Well, sports attire. It ranges from velour, as you've seen in the Sopranos video recently, which is extremely luxurious. I never took them seriously, but now I totally get it. To more sporty tracksuits that are actually, like the name implies, for sports, for the track. They're just very practical. I have some designer ones, like my Hugo Boss ones, which are a little bit smarter, and I just love it. There's something about matching the top with the bottoms, and then with your sneakers. I just like it. Maybe it's because I grew up in London, I don't know. Maybe that's the connection. Well, James Bond had a tracksuit, so it's yeah, so it can be pulled off in a more elegant manner, shall we say. Of course, we're going to have sneakers or trainers if we're going to be British about it. Oh, look at that. Oh, even the smell of them. Oh my God. So if you haven't guessed and have a pan down, you see I'm wearing some on my feet right now. These are my home ones. That's why they're so clean. And I'm doing the ultimate faux pas of wearing Adidas track pants. I should have thought of that. Oh my God, how embarrassing. But anyway, I love the Air Max 90s. Mainly because, again, it's a kind of childhood connection. Now, I'm not really a sneaker head, as it were, but I do like my New Balances, the Made in America ones, for running. I have a few Adidas ones, but mainly I collect the Air Max 90s. The lineage of the design is really, really cool, the story behind them. Nike Air Max is a line of shoes produced by Nike, with the first model released in 1987 that has irrevocably changed the sneaker world forever and influencing almost every other brand to follow this style of design. Designed by Tinker Hatfield, the Nike Air Max was the first sneaker to offer a window to the sole. The out-of-the-box thinker was inspired by the Pompidou Center in Paris to design a sneaker that made its air technology visible. As the name indicates, all Air Max shoes feature one or more translucent pouches of pressurized gas embedded into the midsole and visible from the outside of the shoe. It was the first sneaker to ever do this, and in doing so made design history. Referred to as air units or airbags, their stated purpose is to provide a superior cushioning to the traditional foam while also reducing weight. The effectiveness of this technology is disputed. Nevertheless, the shoes enjoy consistent popularity, especially among sneaker enthusiasts and collectors, and has since grown into an almost endless array of styles and models. So when I was growing up, all the cool kids in London, in primary school and middle school and etc., always had the fresh Air Max 90s, and I kind of lusted after them. So of course, as soon as I got a job and was making my own money, what did I do? I bought a ton of them. That is my sneaker of choice. Okay, so at number 2 is the sports jacket, and as you would have guessed from the name, originally it started out as a jacket intended for the gentleman in the country, kind of doing outdoor activities, shooting, hunting, that kind of stuff. So the early ones were always in tweeds and very English look. And then of course it permeated into mainstream culture and now has become, you know, typical. You see it worn in the city as well. So it's not really a sports jacket anymore. It's just by name, really. Nowadays we have tracksuits and real sports attire. I like it because you can get the heavier tweeds for the winter, obviously warmer, and you can get more playful patterns and colors. And you don't have to wear it like a suit. I'm not saying you can't wear a suit jacket. I think that's a pretty cool thing as well with jeans and stuff. But I think the sports jacket is more versatile and it just elevates casual attire, makes it a little bit more smarter. I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy. I'm not at all. Okay, number one, I had to include it. It is the turtleneck, of course, right? You know, every winter, you know when it's cold when I'm wearing a turtleneck, right? There's some interesting history behind it, so let's take a look. A polo neck, or roll neck in the UK, or turtleneck in the United States and Canada, and sometimes referred to as a skivvy in Australia and New Zealand, is a garment, usually a sweater, with a close-fitting, round, high part similar to a collar that folds over and covers the neck. Turtleneck garments have been worn for hundreds of years, dating to at least the 15th century. They were originally designed to protect the necks of knights wearing chainmail. Royalty adopted the high neck fashion, with the height and volume of the neck ruffle indicating status. From the late 19th century on, polo necks were commonly worn by menial workers, athletes, included into military uniforms, sailors, and naval officers. Since the middle of the 20th century, black polo necks have been closely associated with radical academics, philosophers, artists, and intellectuals. Since the early 20th century, the polo neck has become a fashionable option, especially well demonstrated with classic cinema icons from Marcello Mastroianni, Steve McQueen, Roger Moore, and so on. For me, the polo neck is the anti-tie, a smart form of dress for those who reject formal wear. I hardly ever wear a suit, but the turtleneck can make any sports jacket instantly look smarter. But apart from stylistically, the most obvious benefit is warmth in the colder seasons. I'm going to leave it there. Now, before I go, I must stress one important point. What works for me might not necessarily work for you in my top 10 and vice versa. I think it's important to not take too much of the pressure that there certainly is with the style vlogs and blogs and all the rest of it, that they're always, oh, this is hot, you should wear this, or this is not hot, and blah blah blah. I don't care about any of that. I wear what makes me happy. I think it's important to always be yourself. If you want to wear something and it's fun and it reflects your taste and makes you happy, it's a bit like watches. Go for it. With that in mind, I should recommend checking out the Urban Gentry store, but I'm not going to put it in my list. That would be terribly biased, but hopefully it might be in yours. Who knows? What else? There's the Urban Gentry Facebook group if you want to stay in contact with the watch community. There's the Instagram, and please do nominate your favorite top 10 go-to fashion items in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, found it useful, and as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.